Oh, hello. Welcome to the Shire. This is a very short video, just to show you my very modest collection of Tolkien books that I've been promising to do for a wee while. So bear with me and I'll show you some books. I think I can hear some relatives approaching. Back soon. Hello folks, safe indoors now. This is the History of Middle-earth, published in 12 volumes between 1983 and 1996, and a wonderful deep dive into Tolkien's Legendarium. But I wanted to start with something a little smaller. This is my oldest Tolkien book in my collection. It's from 1967, and it's Smith of Wootton Major with the beautiful Pauline Baines illustrations. And it tells a story, of course, of a conjunction between the worlds of fairy and the worlds of man. But what a lovely little size it is. A lovely little thing to slip into your pocket. Slightly faded, but not in bad nick for a 60s book. And I love it. I love this little book. Now, as a slight deviation, but just of adjacent interest, this is Malorn, which was the journal of the Tolkien Society. And I was a member of the Tolkien Society from when I was about 15, for about 10 years. And Malorn is a collection of essays and articles and thoughts and considerations about the world of Tolkien. And I've got quite a few editions of it, I think 32, 31 editions, edits. And in 1992 they produced this conference volume, Centenary Conference, and it has some wonderful things in it, like there's an article in here, there it is, Hermetic Imagination, the Effect of the Golden Dawn on Fantasy Literature, in a chapter on the Inklings. Now the Inklings, this is Humphrey Carpenter's book, The Inklings, is a good place to begin in understanding a little bit more about the milieu in which Tolkien worked, because they would meet as friends in halls in Oxford and in the Bird and Baby pub, the Eagle and Child. And it would include people like Charles Williams, C.S. Lewis, Hugo Dyson, Tolkien himself, of course. His son Christopher would attend sometimes. And just to get a sense of, oh, look at this. What a little teenage vandal he was. But while I breathe, I hope. Yes, so to get a sense of the world, there's Charles Williams and C.S. Lewis. And it's a great book. It's a really interesting book in terms of that intro, as is this book. The Letters is, again, edited by Humphrey Carpenter and vandalised by yours truly. It's a great way of seeing how Tolkien developed his ideas in day-by-day, month-by-month form. There's a facsimile from 1938 of one of his letters. For example, the character Strider, Aragorn, was originally called Trotter. Those sorts of things. It's just lovely to sort of read about, and people ask him questions and he answers in his letters about the world that he was creating. And this volume is it's another 45-year-old, 50-year-old volume, but it's in fairly good nick because it's been very, very well read. But now we come to the meat and potatoes. This is my first UK edition of The Silmarillion from 1977. First impression, first publication. And it's not signed by me. But of course, the Silmarillion is a collection which was brought together by Christopher Tolkien posthumously of Tolkien's deep history of the world that he created, which would later be expanded upon, of course, in Unfinished Tales and the history of Middle-earth. And here's the map from the back of that book, detailing Beleriand, which was sunk at the end of the War of Wrath in the First Age. But nice to have that edition. And here's where it began for me, which was The Hobbit. First read to me in primary school when I was 7 or 8 years old. I mean, what child could resist Thror's map? Absolutely magical. And it's a nice edition. It's also vandalised, of course. It's a nice edition because it's illustrated with his colour plates and black and white illustrations. But to me, of course, personally, it's a very magical edition because this was the first one I read. First time I read it myself was this book. And this is a fourth edition, 1979 fourth edition. But yeah, special to me, very special to me. Look at that. The smoke coming out of the entrance there of Erebor, the lonely mountain. And it stands up today. What a wonderful story it is. I'm enjoying reading it again at the moment for the read along. The Tolkien read along with Tim of Secret Fire Books. Look at that. You know what? It's a beautiful design. This version as well. It's sort of the dwarven ruins and the forests and mountains. The dragon. It's held up as well. I think not too battered. And it's, as I say, it's certainly been well read. And then I graduated to this 12th impression of 1980, The Lord of the Rings. So this is George Allen and Unwin before they became HarperCollins later on. So this is my first hardback collection. And each of these, of course, carries the map, famous map. Now this map is Christopher Tolkien's reworking of his father's map. So it's got more detail in terms of place names, and it's also obviously in black and red. I don't know about you. Something magical about maps. Love them. When you open a map, you feel like you're going on a journey. The map, this is the map from the Return of the King, which of course shows Gondor, Rohan and Mordor. Now, a very important book for me, particularly before the publication of the history of Middle-earth, was Unfinished Tales. And look at this now. This is embarrassing. I had to list every book at that point in 1980 or whatever it was that I owned by Tolkien. Oh dear me. That's a little bit of history from me. And it has the Middle-earth map in the back of it as well. But the importance of this book is that it's post-Silmarillion and prior to History of Middle-earth. It gives you that extra information, extra background on top of the appendices that appear in The Lord of the Rings itself. So for those of you, for those of us rather, who were hungry for more, ravenous for more, it fitted the bill. That's a Númenórean captain's helmet illustration on the cover by Tolkien. Yeah, it's holding up all right. Little battered, but yeah, it's all going. Now this is a folio collection of Lord of the Rings, Silmarillion, The Hobbit. And these are a very beautiful collection. Now the boxes, the slip sleeves themselves are a little bit battered, but by time, I suppose, by moving house too many times. But yeah, look at the dwarven runes there. The nice gold lettering. It's a really nice set. It's a really nice set. And I love the spiraling patterns, which is, all of them have got this kind of similar casing. Look at the Barad-dûr and the Eye of Sauron there on the cover of The Return of the King. And then you've got Minas Morgul on the Two Towers. And then a traveller, perhaps it's Frodo, on a horse on the Fellowship. But I look at that patterning shape, I think it's so gorgeous. And these have got this kind of little chapter illustrations. This is Lothlorien. So at the beginning of each chapter you've got this little illustration, which is rather beautiful. Printed on a fine paper and with end papers of maps of Middle Earth. Again, there's the classic Tolkien map. Yeah, it's a really nice edition. It is slightly faded on the spine, I'm afraid, but it's on display. It's been on display for many years. The Silmarillion and the Hobbit, and in the same set, and again, slight fading on the spine there. But look at that patterning, absolutely beautiful. And the Hobbit's Smaug on the cover, Thror's map on the inside there. So we get and then these lovely illustrations inside by Eric Fraser, these line illustrations. And then the Silmarillion, similarly, beautifully laid out, lovely illustrations. This is Ulmo, the Valar, god of the waters. Beautiful. George Allen and Unwin did their own sort of deluxe editions. This is the Poems and Stories, which contains Tom Bombadil's poems, Leaf by Niggle, Smith of Wootton Major, Farmer Giles of Ham. And I'm afraid I have written my name in this one as well. Look, there it is. Bloody hell. Silly old git. Or silly young git, I should say. But, yeah, there we are. So you can see, and Beornorth, which is an Anglo-Saxon tale as well. And the Pauline Baines illustrations, look at that. Old Man Willow and Tom Bombadil. Lovely. It's a little treasure, that one, old as it is. Now this is not valuable at all. This is it's just a paperback edition of Tolkien's letters to his children. Tolkien would write a letter to his children each year, and it would appear in the hearth on Christmas Day, with illustrations about the adventures of Father Christmas at the North Pole, desperately trying to get his presents to the children of the world, and helped by his friend the North Polar Bear and their battles with goblins, as you can see in this illustration here. Absolutely delightful, and it inspired me. I wrote loads of Father Christmas letters to my kids, copying the style of Tolkien for many years, until they were no longer interested. But it's a nice little piece. Yeah, I'd like to get the hardback. I will get the hardback one day. And then a funny little one, which is Mr. Bliss. This is a story Tolkien wrote for his kids, about a man who gets a car and goes on a little drive and has all these kinds of adventures. And I believe Tolkien himself, in the 30s, had driven a car and had a rather scary accident and decided never to bother driving again. But it's a lovely little kid story that he's written for his kids. But yeah, fun. And only £4.95 in the day. And then the final thing I just wanted to show you was pictures by Tolkien. Let's move my dragon. Now, so inside this slipcase, it's a large format book. Gold embossed with JRRT's initials, and it contains a selection of his illustrations, effectively. His pictures, his watercolours and drawings, and others. There's some biros as well, as you'll see. There he is, Professor Tolkien. Dawn take you all and be stoned to you. Yes, some illustrations from The Hobbit. There's Rivendell. Barrels out of Bond. You know, I mean, Tolkien clearly struggled with figures, but was wonderful at landscape. They're really kind of atmospheric. Look at this illustration of Old Man Willow. Beautiful. And Nargothrond. These are from the Silmarillion. And Tolsirion, the Isle of Werewolves it became as Sauron took it over. Glaurung sets forth to seek Turin. Now that's a wingless worm. And Father Christmas and North Polar Bear. Look at these. This tells you something about Tolkien's doodlings on newspapers. He's probably always talking on the telephone. Thank you for listening, folks, and indulging me. I hope you found it quite interesting. And don't forget to read along.